Vice President of New York Dance Innovation, I would like to invite you for another talk with another wonderful artist, Erberk Eryilmaz, who I got to know when I was a student at the Carnegie Mellon, because he did his master degree and artist diploma with Professor Reza Vali at Carnegie Mellon. But before that, he graduated from Hartford Hart School of Music from composition undergraduate studies. And recently he just finished his DMR in composition from the Rice University in Houston. So our guest will be Erberk Eryilmaz, who actually is now in Turkey, who just left Houston just recently. And he will share with us some of his stories of the recent time. So hello, Erberk, nice to see you.
Thank you, Jakub. Thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. I'm very happy that you will also share your thoughts. So when we're going to start this conversation, I would like to ask you, Erberk, about your recent times. Tell me about your studying system, about the school, and about your move to Turkey. Could you tell a little bit about that?
Yes, so March was, of course, like how it was for everyone. It was confusing. We didn't know what to do. About concerts, we had like so many concerts lined up at that time, but of course none of those happened. Just around that time, maybe like in February, I was in talks with the university here in Ankara, with the Ankara Music and Fine Arts University. So we were in conversations, and I was very excited about what was happening here, and they wanted to form the composition department at the university. And this university is very unique because they have both Turkish music and Western music education in the university. I studied in Turkey. I studied my middle school and high school was at the conservatory in Ankara.
In capital, yes.
Yes, but it was at a Western music school. Like when you are growing up here, your parents don't ask you what kind of music do you want to play when you grow up. I never had that. My parents never asked me that question. But now there's an opportunity for kids to learn both languages, both Turkish and Western music language. So that's really exciting, and this is a new university.
That's great. Congratulations for that, Erberk. But also tell us, how was your time in Houston recently, last few months? How did you spend?
Houston, if people know how Houston is, it's always hot. So
did you compose?
Yes, I composed a little bit. But again, like we didn't know much about the future, so that was a little bit sad. Like I don't know if yes, I have a commission, but I don't know if that can get performed. I finished my my doctoral dissertation piece at that time. I don't know if it can get performed, for orchestra. What will happen to it? So it was a little bit hard, but we were just trying to enjoy the weather before it got too hot in Houston.
So tell me, did you get your online student? Do you have in-person classes? How is the situation there?
So I have online classes.
Online.
Everything is taught here. I share my presentation as PDF. We go over, like, do the exercises on there. And everything is happening online right now. There are talks about if we can do a hybrid option.
Hybrid, yes.
In the spring. We'll see. Right now, the decision is to do it for the whole year online.
And how is the weather now in Turkey? How is it hot?
Well, if you're in southern Turkey, it's hot. But in central Turkey, it's very nice.
Very nice.
You see, I'm in a small room with no AC, and I really like not using AC. The weather is so nice here.
Yes, and also, Erberk, you are a wonderful pianist. So tell us, do you also practice piano now? Do you have time to practice piano?
Again, like, we are very project-based. There's a concert in a month, and I practice. If there's a piece that I need to finish in a month, I finish the piece.
Okay, so you are kind of.
I have been cheating. I have not. Don't tell my old piano teachers. I have not been practicing daily.
Oh, I see. So you like to work when you have a deadline. You are this kind of artist. When you have deadline, then you're gonna work on that. But tell us also, Erberk, about your dissertation. What was the topic, and what did you write about your DMA dissertation?
It's an orchestral piece based on a Turkish folk song called Şeker Olan.
Okay.
Which would literally mean like a sweet boy. well, the wording doesn't matter that much. It was just it's just a piece about this folk song that I really love so much. And as a coincidence, it's from the folk song is from this region as well, like central Turkey.
Maybe do you have a cover or something to show us on PDF? Do you have or not with you now?
Let's see.
Maybe you can just cover at least the first page, orchestration. You know, we'd like to see.
Sure. Let me try getting to it as quickly as possible.
What are the instruments? What the duration? And we would like to just see it. You can share with us the screen.
Yes, I will do that.
So how long is the piece, Erberk?
Since writing this piece, I wrote a couple other pieces from this. All the notes are small. But the idea is that there's this very nice folk song from Ankara and this region. And my idea was that how can I make it more dramatic?
Okay.
How can I present it with more surprises and make it live in extremes?
Can you find any influences of Houston in this piece or Texas? Any kind of spirit from this land or not?
Okay. One thing that I noticed now that I lived in the States for 15 years and I came here, like going back and looking at my things. Of course, working with Reza Wali really made a big impact. My works from the US time, like from Houston, from Pittsburgh, they're all on the shorter side. Like most of them are on the shorter side. And because, you know, the attention span is different in like American lifestyle. Everything is so fast happening. Everyone's time is so valuable. Like for example, in the States, you go to a restaurant. If you can get out between 30 minutes to 45 minutes, that's success. But if you go to a restaurant in Turkey, if the host is bringing the food so quickly, people will complain. They will say, "Do you want to get us out of here like so quickly? What's wrong?"
Exactly, I know.
They don't want to stay here at a restaurant for 2-3 hours. So the culture is like that with music too. Like it's more laid back.
Yes, you know, this is also very interesting about our time perception because in different cultures we feel slightly differently. You know, and that's what you just mentioned. It's also related to our daily life because the music is always so related. How we live, how is our surrounding, you know. And so that's why also I gave you this question because I'm sure there might be some influence from Houston or something. Maybe your music, do you think your music even changed between Pittsburgh and Houston? You think it's still the same or you maybe have the different perspective, you know?
Maybe the lifestyle, but you know, one thing that's really nice about the United States, there's no musical language influence that's happening too, because everyone is surrounded by the music that they like. You choose what you want to listen to. In Turkey, you're many times in large spaces where you are with other people, and if they like playing, you know, it's just like it's in a mall. When you're in a large place, you hear pop music. But if you don't go to malls or crowded areas in the States, you don't get to know the music of the time and the place.
Yes, sure.
But here, like, you hear folk music all the time.
I see, Erberk, but when you teach your students, what is your focus? Because you have experience studying in Turkey and experience studying in the US, but you also visited Europe a few times, right?
Yes.
So tell me, how is your approach for your students? Do you teach in composition or counterpoint, harmony? What do you teach?
I'm teaching orchestration, composition, and harmony.
Okay, harmony. Okay, awesome.
Yes. You know, in many American music schools, it's a school of music, but it's actually not school of music. It's school of Western music. And even if we say that, we don't really fully learn Western music. You know, yes, we study Chopin, but do we study mazurkas? Do we know how like folk music works? How that music influenced Chopin? We never study, or maybe you did because we know your relationship with Chopin, but many people, we don't know about Norwegian fiddling. We don't know about like English airs. We need to study more European music, even if you want to call it a Western music school. But in the US, the music schools are called music schools, not Western music schools. That means we need to learn music of the East, music of Africa. We need to learn regional music from Australia. And people need to learn like, modal traditions. They should study Turkish music, Arabic music, Armenian music. There's so much to cover. So I missed that so much. Of course, my education doesn't cover everything, all of these regions, but I wish I knew more. So my focus is that I hope I can inspire people to I don't know, research about Korean music, research about I don't know, Italian singing too. This music, unfortunately, we get stuck in like 10, 15 composers, but there's so much more music than that. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to
combine. I see. Very nice, Erberk. But also tell us, maybe if you have a chance to talk to you, tell us about the education in Turkey, because I could see a lot of differences in education, elementary, secondary education in Poland and USA. So tell me, how is this musical system in Turkey? When do you go? When do you start learning instruments, and how do you learn?
Yes. I'm not so familiar with what's going on right now, but it's, I think, similar to this. When I was studying here, I finished my first 5 years of elementary school, the regular school. But starting from the 6th grade, I think it's 5th grade right now, and students can become full-time conservatory students. That means when you are around 10, 11, you know that you will be an artist, you will be a musician. That's a very different mindset.
Do you have national system of education? National schools, national music schools?
Yes, there are state conservatories.
A state, okay.
Yeah, one thing would be shocking to many of our American friends. You can start from kindergarten and get your doctorate with paying 0 lira or $0 to the state. You can get your whole education in Turkey for free. Education is free.
So similar like in Poland, similar.
Yeah. I remember my friends were protesting because if you're going to a university, you pay a certain amount of tax. I don't know, it's like $20, $30 of tax. I don't know what it is like right now, but something so small like that. I remember my friends complaining about it at that time, while my American friends are paying thousands of dollars. And of course, there are disadvantages of living in Turkey too. Nowhere is perfect, and many of our American friends are complaining right now. But I talked to my Turkish friends; they complain too.
Great. Tell us also. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Erberk, for this insight. But tell also, how is the National Orchestra in Turkey? Is it closed? The season is postponed or canceled?
There are state orchestras. I think they slowly started performing. There are many nice antique theaters in Turkey, so they started giving concerts there, televised concerts. They are starting to give concerts. I don't know how it will be, but one nice thing about Turkey is that they have this thing called HES code. If you so let's say you take a bus and you have this code, and everybody has to, like if you are using public transportation or if you are in a large crowded area, you have a code. You go in with a code, and later if they realize that someone in that place has COVID, they will notify you.
Oh,
so
wow.
You know that you were in an environment where people had coronavirus. So I am sure they are trying to make it as safe as possible for people when the time comes to open the doors to the audience. But I know they give televised concerts and they give concerts outdoors.
But that's good that they have concerts and it didn't shut down completely. That's good to hear that. Yes, and you visit also Poland. So I would like to ask you in this case, and maybe you had a chance, you have some memories visiting the Chopin birthplace Well, tell us about that something what you remember from Poland, because I'm the also artist director of Chopin France Festival. So I would like to see your inspirations. And
Growing up, and even now, if you ask like who my favorite composer is in the Western musical canon, I would say Chopin. As a
really?
pianist. Of course, you're as a pianist, like you're so connected to it when you play. But mainly, I love how he prioritizes melody, and his music is so direct. You see the folk music influence. He really inspires me so much. So it was really meaningful to go to Poland and play play for Andrzej Jashinsky.
Oh yes, Andrzej
Legend,
Jashinsky.
of course.
When was that? It was. Do you remember the year?
2005.
2005.
Yes.
15 years ago.
Yeah. Yes.
So where? So you came from US or from Turkey that time? Did you go to Poland from Turkey?
Yeah, from Turkey. I wish I knew my English was better at that time. I could
but did you have
a
chance to go to birthplace of Chopin, or you didn't have a chance?
I think we visited, but I was so young and my English wasn't so good. But I remember like being able to find Lutosławski's like recordings, scores. That was also very exciting.
Very exciting, yes.
Lutosławski is certainly one of the biggest influences in my music.
That's great. That's wonderful. But also, can you tell us, is there any of your favorite piece by Chopin that you like the most? Maybe do you have special piece?
Mazurkas are my favorites.
Mazurkas? Okay.
Yes.
Mazurkas.
And of course, first ballad, like
G minor.
Polonaise, yes.
You play that.
Yeah. But Mazurkas, I love his shorter works.
Miniatures, right?
Yes.
Yes, I'm personally a huge fan of this big work like Sonata, B minor, or Polonaise Fantasy. In terms of the form, I think it was also very innovative. But of course, all of those were great. Okay, Erberk, can you also tell us about your future plans for the next year, about your works that you are working on? Can you share a little bit with us?
Yes, so and this move is a big thing in our life since I was in the States for 15 years. So most of my goals are with the university. We want to form the composition department this year. I hope we can create a school that's very open-minded and that will allow people to learn music from their own country and explore the world with music, not just staying in a smaller geographical region. So we need to come up with a good curriculum for that. So I'm working on that. And at the same time, of course, giving concerts where we are composers, we are musicians. So concerts are where we live. So I want to write music for many groups and introduce what I love to them with music. The people that know of my music, I'm a big folk music fan, and I get inspired by like various regions of Turkey or neighbor cultures, and I want to discover new things from all those regions and share them in my own language in music with people that are interested in my music.
You can be like a barter. You can record and later transcribe all those songs, and right.
Right now, it's much easier than Bartok's time. I can go to YouTube and like see many like wedding videos like from small villages of Turkey. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing, but not everything is recorded. There's so many places still undiscovered. That's what I'm talking, and you can really find a lot of treasures there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And many of the commercially released recordings have like big Western influence. Like they try to make it popular. Which I don't like. I would like to go for the most authentic recordings, most authentic versions of the folk songs. So you're right. You never know where the best quality music can be. So we need to travel and find good music.
Yes, music is also a travel. Whenever you compose, you travel. Yes, Erberk. So I'm sure. So the music department is in great hands. And now maybe you can present, we can play some at the end of this interview, some of your work. Which work maybe you would like us to hear from you that maybe combines these elements of the Western and Eastern influences? Which piece would you like us to play? String quartet or maybe not? No.
How about this piece called Rakı Havası for Woodwind Quintet and Davul. Davul is a Turkish folk instrument, Turkish folk bass drum. In this recording, I am playing, and I'm joining Wind Sync, an amazing woodwind quintet from Houston. And maybe we can share that with the...
Yes, so we will play it after the interview, okay? So we can see that. So you can tell a little bit more about that piece. So when did you compose it?
This was actually the last premiere I had before the pandemic.
So it's almost brand new work.
Yes, so it was premiered on 29th of February, I think, on my wife's birthday.
But also, congratulations. But Erberk, I know you're going to have your own CD soon, right? The release of your own works.
Yes, we are working on that.
Great. So we are looking forward. When is it going to be? This year, next year?
Hopefully this year. That's all my string quartet works with Carpe Diem String Quartet.
Yes, I remember. I attended
an amazing group.
Yes, I remember when you had a concert here in New York, Carnegie Hall. It was, I think, 2 years ago. 2 years ago?
Yes, I think so.
I think
that was the last time we saw each other.
Yes, that's why we saw each other. It's been already 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So we're going to hear that piece, okay?
Yes.
So thank you very much, Erberk, for this conversation. Wonderful to talk to you. Glad to see you. And we wish you all health, a lot of good inspirations and good time in Turkey. And then we hope you're going to visit more US and also Europe, maybe Poland.
Thank you. And I hope you can come visit us in Turkey.
Thanks, Erberk. So all the best for you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, Erberk.